Hello everyone, my name's Brian and welcome to a video on death and taxes. I was actually surprised I was going to have time to record this, so let's hop right into it. This is where death and taxes has been leading ever since Yurion has been banned. It seems like we're seeing a lot more of the ephemerate solitude lists with a whole bunch of other creatures that when you bounce them do cool things, or when you flicker rather. So just to run through this super quickly, we have at the top end one Cauldron Complete that you get with your Stoneforge Mystics. The 5-drop section has gotten a lot more interesting with 4 Solitudes, of course, now that I finally have them. A Timeless Dragon, which is just a fun thing to put in your graveyard, make a 4/4 flyer later. A Batterskull to go get with the Stoneforge Mystic. Both Batterskull and Cauldron Complete are living weapons, so you put them into play and you get a Germ token and they turn into a thing. 2 Archon of Amara, which are the Stop Having Fun birds. So essentially each player can't cast more than one spell, but you look to break that symmetry with your Aether Vials, and your opponent's lands that are non-basic come into play tapped, hopefully knocking them off tempo. 2 Extraction Specialists. So this allows us to get any card with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard back to the battlefield, and as you can see here, we have 9 2-drops we can get between Lion Sash, Stoneforge Mystic, Thalia, and Spellskite, just to get a little bit more value out of things that our opponent tries to remove super quickly. Plus, you'll look at our 2-drops, and every last one of them does something cool when it's on the battlefield that's not attacking or blocking. 3 Flicker Wisps, just a really good toolbox creature. 3 Skyclave Apparitions, which are a good removal in Modern. And finally, a Sword of Fire and Ice to try and push through a little bit more damage. You'll notice a lot of this deck is 3-ofs as opposed to 4-ofs. So it seems to be trying to run 3-ofs to get more toolbox nature out of the deck in general. 1 Lion Sash. I've been underwhelmed with this, but there's so much going on in the graveyard these days that having main deck graveyard hate doesn't seem like a bad thing. 4 Stoneforge Mystic to get our Cauldros, Batterskull, Sword of Fire and Ice, and Lion Sash. 3 Thalia, Guardian of Thravens to make sure that we're still technically death and taxes. Spellskite to try and protect our important things, and then in the 1-drop slot we have 3 Ephemerates to make the Solitudes great, 3 Giver of Runes to try and protect our stuff, 4 Aether Vial to try and cheat out our stuff, a Shadow Spear, and a Soulguide Lantern that are Urza Saga's targets. And yeah, the reason I'm using this list is because it has Urza Saga, and I think this card can win games on its own. The fact that this is semi-artifact themed also helps pump the Urza Saga's tokens, but getting able to put these guys down without having to actually cast has already helped in my testing. 1 Ejano Castle, which can help our legendary creature, singular, which is just Thalia. We have 2 Ejano Seed of the Empires that can deal some damage, which are actually super helpful. 1 Mishra's Factory, just to kind of punch through a little bit. Also, it's fun blocking Ragavans with it. 9 Plains, I believe. Gotta have them. 2 Silent Clearings to get a little card draw if we draw too many lands. 4 Tech Edges. Now, you'll notice this deck doesn't have the Leonin Arbiters. So it seems as though, because this is running Urza Saga and Stoneforge Mystic, that you really can't run Leonin Arbiter all that profitably. So it's running the Tech Edges to blow up lands as opposed to Ghost Quarters, which, honestly, in my testing have done okay. Getting your opponent down to 3 mana as opposed to none might not be as terribly helpful as one might hope. However, knocking out lands that are important like Man Lands or Valakuts has been incredibly profitable. And finally, 3 Urza Saga. I almost want to make it the full 4, but this is the way I found the list. Why don't we go ahead and try it, and we can tune it as we see fit. In the sideboard, we have 2 Cathar Commandos, which are essentially disenchants that have flash and are on a stick, so you can also use them to beat down. 2 Containment Priests to stop things like Rhinos or Living Ends, or in general, just things that are annoying. 2 Sanctifier Envex are good for going after your opponent's graveyards. 2 Anointed Peacekeepers, which are good to try and stop combo-y things or even just Planeswalker hate. Another Archon of Amara if your opponent is going off with lands or they're trying to do stormy things or control. 1 Loran of the Third Path, again, good for blowing up artifacts and enchantments. Essentially, this has taken Leonin Relic Warder's job, because rather than exiling it, it'll just straight up blow it up. Also, there's some card draw attached here if you're very desperate. A March of Otherworldly Light, just a super helpful removal spell, and the fact that it can take out pretty much anything other than a land or a Planeswalker is super nice. Pithing Needle, again, just good to have in sideboards in general. Also, because we have Urza Saga, it will be more likely to actually see it. 1 Relic of Progenitus, extra graveyard hate in case we have to really diversify our graveyard hate. And 2 Dampening Spheres, Tron, Prime Time, things like that. Anything where just taking out their land or slowing them down a little bit will be helpful. And there we have it. There we have this kind of smorgasbord of death and taxes with not just one way of trying to win, but a whole bunch of different ways of trying to win. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and hop into as many games as I can find physical time for and see how she runs. Join me, won't you? All right, we had a contest to see who could roll dice more, and our opponent won. So we will be on the play. Let's get that off the thing here. We're not looking to take up too much room. So here's the thing. This is modern and Thoughtseize as a card, and also our land blows itself up after 3 turns. So we're going to try again. Okay, this seems better. We'll go ahead and keep, and we'll give up on, I guess, the Archon. Because, like, turn 1 Plains, turn 2 Urza Saga, turn 3 Skyclave, or make a token Pelt Collector. So our opponent's on something aggro, probably Gruely. I mean, it could be mono green. Mono green's fun. Other Plains, all right. So kind of feel sad that we don't have the Archon now because we drew another land, but we'll just pass. Swept Teeth. Our opponent cracks. What are they getting here? Is this Gruel? Is this grueling us out? Oh, okay. This might be Zoo? Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer. Looks like he did that wrong. Looks like he casted it instead of Dashavanning it. So, oopsie there. Oh, no! Oh, they just wanted to do that because Wild Nicodle is a thing. All right. So, we need to threat assess here a bit. And I think what we'll do is Solitude Evoke. Actually, we can wait. We could just take 3. Because I feel like Ragavan's the thing you actually want to take out. So what do we draw? Please be Ephemerate. It's a Timeless Dragon. I'm actually happy to pitch that versus the Skyclave, because I feel like we need to just take out as many creatures as we can of theirs. So we'll Stoneforge Mystic. We'll go get... I think there's a very high chance Stoneforge Mystic dies is the thing. So I'm not going to get Cauldron Complete. I think what I'll do is I'll get Sword of Fire and Ice, and we'll just pass from there. Now, if they don't kill Stoneforge Mystic, then that's on me. We're going to take quite a bit here. We'll see if they attack with Ragavan. All right, they play a land, they crack it, they get a Stomping Ground. Hex Drinker. Wow, we really need our removal, don't we? Reckless Bushwhacker. All right, so here's where we're going to Solitude. Pitching Timeless Dragon. And we'll go ahead and take out... I guess Ragavan, as boring as that is. Because everything's gonna get pumped now. We're going to take quite a bit. But they're out of gas, so if we can just start gumming them, we should be able to turn the tide here. So this is 4, 8, 11, 13. I'm going to block the Hex Drinker and just trade there and kind of Skyclave our way out of this. Really need an Ephemerate. Our opponent has a stop on our upkeep, which is kind of breaking my flow here. There's the Urza Saga, which will just... As much as I would love to make an Urza's token, I feel like Skyclave is just better. We'll get rid of the Pelt Collector. I really wish we had better cards in hand than Ajano's Castle and Sword of Fire and Ice, but here we are. They should just swing. Yeah. Alright, as much as this hurts and as much as this leaves us with nothing, we have to block. Drop to 4. They get a 1-1. So we're looking at lethal unless we do something here. Aether Vial. Okay, so we definitely need to make a guy. There's our guy. We get to go get a relic. I don't think Soul Guide Lantern will do anything. So I think it's the Shadow Spear, even though we're not going to be able to equip it. And I think what we do here is we play a Plains and we play Aether Vial. And we kind of hope at this point. kind of doing a little bit of hoping. So like, best case scenario, we go to 1 and we get to equip Shadow Spear next turn. Huh. So we have to block Wild Nicodle now. That's pretty brutal. We have to block Wild Nicodle. We pretty much just have to draw a creature at this point. Any creature will do, really, but it's got to be a creature. Flicker Wisp will, in fact, do it. Flicker Wisp is a creature, and it will kill their illusion token. Here's my Flicker Wisp. Kill their illusion token. We are just absolutely on the fence, but... We're keeping alive. I mean, if we top deck a land, next turn we just get to go off with Sword of Fire and Ice. Although they should probably attack. Yeah, that seems correct. Unfortunately, I think we block. Do we block, or do we go to 1? Because we go to 1... Yeah, if they have an instance, we're dead anyway. Yeah, it would have gained Trample anyway, so much for that. That was surprisingly close, though. He ran out of steam. So Dampening Spheres, definitely. What else do we want? Soul Guide Lantern doesn't really do anything. It seems like they're ignoring us, so the Spellskite can probably come out too. We have the Dampening Spheres. What else do we want? March seems okay. Archon seems good. Extraction Specialist has lifelink. Lion Sash does nothing. So these 3 in, these 3 out. Anything else we want to try and do here? Like Anointed Peacekeeper, that seems like a win more, doesn't it? What if I cut 1 Ether Vial and put in the March, in hopes that we get to march one of their things off the field? Let's try that. Yes, I would love to play first. Thank you for asking. Yeah, sure. This has things and does stuff. Our opponent mulliganed to 5, so that seems good. Just play out of Plains and pass. No turn 1, unfortunately. Hopefully our opponent doesn't drop a million things. Please just pass. Please just pass. No. Why do you have things to do, opponent? You have like a Raging Goblin or something, or a Nacatl. Just Ragavan. Really can't let that hit. The problem with taxes is you can't let Ragavan hit you, because you have so many X for 1s that Ragavan kind of is something you need to kill the moment you see it. So we have the Urza Saga, and we even get to Stoneforge Mystic and go get something. So again, we're going to go get the Sword of Fire and Ice, because we're going to Shadow Spear directly on the field with the Urza Saga. And I don't expect Stoneforge Mystic to live. I expect it to get bamped off the field somehow, and then Ragavan to tap us, truth be told. Are you just attacking with Ragavan? Well, we're gonna trade. Are they gonna Gore Clan now and save their Ragavan? Looking like it. Yep, they, I don't know how many Gore Clans are playing. Normally it's just the 1, so wasn't really playing around it. We get Delta Million. They get to keep their Ragavan. They get to steal. Yeah, again, see, now we're in such trouble, because we're a mono white deck, and they're going to have protection from whatever they feel like. So now we are actually quite behind the ball, and that's why as taxes, you really can't let Ragavan hit you. As much as I would love to make a guy right now, I kind of need to kill... He's just going to keep stealing more of my stuff. I'm going to kill the Giver, because when it dies, that means I get a token. So now the Skyclave Apparition actually poops out a 1/1 when it dies, so that's not that bad. If they have more Gore Clan Ravengers and they're just essentially finding out how cool Ragavan is when you use it as like a Voltron, that's going to end us super quick. Ragavan is one of the reasons why I feel like Taxes is so behind the 8 ball right now. A lot of decks you steal like something, you know, whatever, it's cool, but all the Taxes pieces do so much once they're on the field, and normally the downside of Taxes... Oh my god, it lived. The downside of Taxes is that you have to play mono white. No, we're just gonna do... We're gonna do a mana. We're gonna go get the Shadow Spear. We're gonna play... what are we gonna do now? We could Archon of Amera, and that stops their whacking. But actually, what we want to do is... Because we could also, like, Flicker Wisp our Skyclave Apparition. We could do that. Because if we Flicker Wisp our Skyclave Apparition, then we get to kill Ragavan as well. And it looks like they kind of kept a land light hand. Okay, you know what? We're going to Giver of Ruins, and then we're going to Archon of Amera. All right, so now we have protection up, essentially. I'm going to get in with Skyclave. I want them to kill their Ragavan. Lightning Bolting the Archon, sure. There would have been nothing we could have done about that. All right, so if they have removal for Giver and they swing with Ragavan again, that's actually kind of unfortunate. Fury, okay. May I introduce to you guys another reason why Death and Taxes isn't really a deck anymore. Fury is so good against Taxes. There's a reason why it's like $50 online. Now, the thing is, I still get a 1/1, so I still get to block Ragavan, but... Boy, is Fury such a beating when it comes to Death and Taxes. All right, so absolutely block all day. Please die, Ragavan. They have another Gore Clan? Atarka's Command. I mean, sure, they deal us 3 damage and their Ragavan gets to live, which is fine. It was a token. Please be a land. Urza Saga. That is an ideal land. All right, so play this, and then 1, 2, 3. Play Flicker Wisp, just because we need a blocker. We'll flicker our own planes, and then we can cycle our Timeless Dragon. But at this point, I have to just hope they continue to not draw lands. Do they swing with Okay, so they must have more tricks, but again, we cannot let Ragavan hit us. That is such a no-go, letting Ragavan hit us. Okay, Ragavan down. A Wild Nacatl, sure thing. That's a 3/3, and we'll Plains cycle the Timeless Dragon. Get a Plains. All right. That takes up to 2. We get an Extraction Specialist. I can get a Stoneforge Mystic. Is Extraction Specialist better than the 4/4? I guess it is, because it allows us to go get... Because if we Extraction Specialist, we Stoneforge Mystic, we go get, at this point, I think Cauldron Complete. At this point, we're just swinging for fences here. Play a land and equip the Shadow Spear to Extraction Specialist, essentially just to buff it a little bit. Not sure what's in... Oh, okay, they give up at that point. To be fair, we had kind of gotten them in a spot. Is there anything we want to change since we'll be on the play? Other than how we would love to draw more Solitudes and more removal, there's really no removal we've left in the sideboard here. We'll go ahead and do that. All right, so this hand is pretty heavy on our top end. If we find one more white source, this hand is great. And we have an answer for Ragavan and Giver of Runes, so I have to assume he's just going to... He kept 7. I have to assume he has Ragavan. He has always just mulled super aggressively until he has had Ragavan. And it's a red source, so here comes Ragavan. Oh, Pelt Collector, okay. Pelt Collector we can kind of play with a little bit. Another Giver, okay. So here's my Giver. And now we have another Giver we can pitch for Solitude. All right, sure thing. What do you got going on here, buddy? Temple Garden. Another Pelt Collector. Okay, well, here's where Ragavan would logically come down. An Evoked Fury. That's unfortunate. Because that's going to, like, super-de-duper pump these Pelt Collectors, hey. These Pelt Collectors are going to become 3/3s. Do we want to get rid of one now with Solitude? Give up on Giver of Ruins. Yeah, probably. This entire match is just trying to stop opponents from doing stuff and try and bleed their hand out a bit. Now, if they have more creatures, then they got us, but we're just trying to stay alive until they run out of cards in hand. They blow up our thing, that's totally fine, so they now have a 3/3 Pelt Collector, which is sure a thing. A Vexing Devil. Boy, it's been a while. The Vexing Devil deals us 4. Vexing Devil is just essentially either I have removal in my hand or it's a 1-mana deal 4, which is fine. Jeez, it's already a 4/4 now. All right. Urza's Saga. I guess we Urza Saga over Mishra's Factory, because we can take 4. That's not the worst thing in the world. And the next turn we can just start pooping out Urza Saga tokens. All right, they come swinging in. They haven't done anything else, so they must not have lands in their hand, and they're stuck at 2 again, which is fine. We really need to draw a white source. We need a white source so bad. Vexing Devil. Sure thing, buddy. We'll take 4. Come on, deck. You can do it. We find a Stoneforge Mystic. So, we didn't find a white source, but we did find Stoneforge Mystic. So we'll go get Sword of Fire and Ice, and next turn we could just drop Cauldron Complete or Batterskull and try and stem the bleeding that way. That's not good. All right, they get to swing in, they get to deal us 4. Hopefully they don't have Gore-Clan's Ravager. If they have that, they win the match. If that's their final card, that's their final card. There's no feeling bad about that being how the game went. Atarka's Command. +1/+1, deal 3, and they get us. Yeah, no, they had Exaxes. Oh well, guys, moving on to the next one. All right, we won the die roll. Good for us. This hand seems amazing. I would love to keep this hand. There's a Kahira, so we're probably playing against some sort of control or elementals. So we'll just play down a Plains, we'll play out a Soul Guide Lantern, and yield. We'll turn to Stoneforge, I think, over Thalia, because if we can get the Cauldron down, I think that's just game. We'll play Urza Saga. Our Giver of Runes coming in late to the party, as always. Play Stoneforge Mystic. We're just going to swing for the fences here, because we're hoping it's going to take them a minute to set up. And now we have Cauldron Complete. Hey. All right, our opponent seems to be holding up either removal or counterspell, because they're control, and they get to have everything at all times. But we untapped with Stoneforge. Drew another Stoneforge, which is funny. Play a land. First thing we do is attempt to get Cauldron Complete on the field. I mean, that worked. So here's our Giver of Ruin. Did you indeed have a counterspell opponent? Seems like they did. Seems like they were just holding regular old counter. Yep. Luckily for us, we played first, so they didn't have the ability to counter our thing before it came down. So here comes the Phyrexian Germ token just coming in hot, putting them to 14. Hopefully this is quicker than the Urza Saga token we gave up on. But the Urza Saga token, we'll probably make one next turn. They're passing the turn. A Skyclave Apparition. So, I'm willing to bet what they have in their hand is a Archmage's Charm, which actually kind of hoses us because it can steal the Germ token, and we don't have enough mana to put the Cauldron Complete somewhere else. So we kind of need to find Flicker Wisp right now or a Solitude. However, in the meantime, let's get a Shadow Spear. And I mean, we go in with both creatures. Because if they steal the Germ token, they steal the Germ token. And you'll notice there's a lot of that. And I'm trying not to be too negative, but Taxes is in a very weak spot right now. There's just, see, exactly. There's just so much right now that just destroys Taxes. So at this point, we're pretty behind the 8 ball. There's not a ton we can do. We need to find Flicker Wisp or Solitude, or we're pretty much just Deadzo to our own Germ token. All right, opponent's just coming in hot. Nothing we can do about this. We just take 5. All right, it's our turn now. We find the Solitude. So we're going to have to try and bait Solitude out, or bait their counter out, because they definitely have counters. There's no way a deck that plays Archmage's Charm and Counterspell, left all their mana open, doesn't have it right now. So first thing we do is we just swing out and see if we can get them to use any of their mana. So Ka-chunk. I mean, we're kind of showing that we have more to do because we didn't equip the Shadow Spear. Dress down to kill our thing. They might still have a Counterspell, but I think we have to try and Solitude now. And I think we give up on Skyclave. If they have Counterspell, then we got pretty dismantled this game. Okay. We managed to stay alive a little bit. We got our Cardra complete back. Solitude does just die though, and Dress Down kills the Construct token. You get to draw another card. Luckily for us though, we have another Stoneforge Mystic to try and get different equipment. So Stoneforge Mystic, and because they definitely play like 3 or 4 Archmage's Charms. Oh, ha ha ha! Dress Down means Stoneforge Mystic does nothing. Brian, you silly person. Leyline's Binding, probably on Cauldra. On a Stoneforge Mystic, okay. That's interesting. I mean, that means if we find a Flicker Wisp, we get to get our Stoneforge back, which is funny. And at this point, they have 5 mana, so they can just play, like, big old stompers. Oh, okay. I get the joke. I think we cash in Soul Guide Lantern for a card now. Mishra's Factory, that doesn't do a ton. That doesn't do a ton at all. Tech Edge. I actually think that's important. So, we Tech Edge their Triome. They're going to tap it for mana, but then... Oh, they're not going to tap it for mana. Well, they must just have Counterspell then. Oh, no. All right. We got a Thalia down. Thalia's not the worst thing to have against control. And also, we took out one of their lands without giving them one. So, their Solitude, which I know for a fact they have in their hand, isn't quite as super de-duper powerful as they're going to hope it's going to be, because they still have to evoke it at this exact moment. Oh, what is this? Is this just, Oh, did the Thalia math get you, opponent? Ah, you got Thalia mathed. Having to go fetch now because of Thalia math. Well, we know it's not Omnath because they don't have red mana. But whatever it is, yeah, it was a Teferi, and they wanted to keep a mana open for some reason. Bounce Thalia, sure thing. There's no way they're playing Spell Snare, right? Like, no one does that anymore, right? Right? Alright, here comes Thalia. Alright, and here comes Lion Sash. So we can pump Lion Sash a little bit. Alright, so now they can Wrath at instant speed, which is always a good thing. Mage's Path. So they definitely have something. Because there's no planet at all where they just let us kill Teferi. I don't know how they have it, but they sure do. This is game 1. Good. I got like 10 minutes to try and record a video, and I go up against Control. Alright, here comes something. Yep, there's the Solitude we were expecting. So what do they go after? They go after Thalia, that's fine. If they're silly enough to block, we can just make Lion Sash a 4/4. No, alright, well, eat the Solitude. Eat Giver of Runes. Still kill Teferi. Alright, and now we drew another Stoneforge Mystic, so we continue to try and outvalue our opponent. We're gonna go get Sword of Fire and Ice still, and hopefully just start to pump up our dudes to make them big and scary. Another Teferi, that's not good. That's not good at all. They gotta bounce the Stoneforge, right? Like, that's the only option? Oh, they bounce Lion Sash. Okay. Yeah, we sure take 3. At this point, we're just hoping for lands so we could eventually Cauldra complete something of ours. Hey, lands. Exactly what I wanted. Okay. Factory, you're on deck. Please kill Teferi. Please kill Teferi. Come on, you can do it. Don't get solituded. Hey, it did it. That even means we can wait on Stoneforge Mystic and just do it whenever we want. Our opponent is getting to roughly 1 million mana, though, which is never good. All right, Solitude coming in hot. We continue just to take it on the chin here. This is, if we win this game, it's not going to be a fast thing. So here comes Lion Sash, so that we have a creature. Extraction Specialist. Well, that'll be good in a second, but right now, Stoneforge Mystic. Sword of Fire and Ice. Sword of Fire and Ice on Lion Sash. This is when I expect Lion Sash to die. Oh, okay. Legitimately did not expect this. But I expect there to be another Solitude. Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't have to do it immediately, and they could just Solitude it, because it does not have protection from white, and it didn't die, so I can't Extraction Special it back to the field. They are dealing me 6 a turn now, which is kind of unfortunate, but I have to assume the final cards in their hand are just exactly what they need to win the game. And I can't complain either. I'm playing a lot of Modern Horizons cards as well. Our opponent is just playing more, and what do we say about decks that play a lot of Modern Horizons cards? They're really good and they win matches. You know, you can only get so upset at Modern Horizons 2 being the format at this point, because it's clear it's what Wizards wants the format to be, and players have voted that they're okay with it. And Ephemerate. I mean, it'll be funny. I mean, we'll try. So we'll Sword of Fire and Ice on Stoneforge Mystic. We'll try and kill Stoneforge Mystic. Oh no, okay. Swing with Stoneforge Mystic. Does this actually connect? Leyline's Binding. Okay, well that's what Ephemerate's for. That's different. They just go after the sword because they're smart and they played this game before. I'm just going to pass. I think if they do this right, they can kill us, but between Ephemerates and Mishra's Factories, I'm hoping to live another day here. But if they just Celestial Colonnade and kind of cruise over us, I mean, we're going to go to 1, and there's not a lot we can do about that. Because, like, Stoneforge Mystic pretty much has to chump here after it gets Ephemerated, and we go get our Batterskull. And for all I know, the last card in their hand is an Archmage's Charm, that they're just waiting for it to be a thing. Oh, they're just going to play Kahira? Just playing Kahira would actually be pretty sweet. Yep, just playing Kahira. Alright, so they come in swinging, and now we start Cloud Music. If they counter Ephemerate, that's just sad. It looks like their last card's just a counter for Ephemerate. Yep, so they're countering the Ephemerate, which is unfortunate. So we'll block one of these, and then we can pump it so at least it's a trade. We are kind of close to dead skis, though. Planes. Well, they're tapped out, so Extraction Specialist, and then we just put Shadow Spear on the Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, if they realize it, they can just kill us with Celestial Colonnade, but I'm hoping they forget about that. I doubt they're forgetting about that, but I hope they forget about that. Come on, just no, don't do it. Don't see it. Yeah, oh well. All right, Death and Taxes continuing to be tier 17. All right, okay, I get the joke here, guys. What are we doing against Control? I mean, I'm assuming Pithing Needle will be good. I have to assume there's Planeswalker somewhere in there. Archon's good. Anointed Peacekeepers are probably even fine. What's bad? I don't think they use their graveyard anymore, so get rid of Soul Guide Lantern. Spellskite is fine. Lion Sashes, meh. Memory's good. Solitude's good. Extraction Specialists only seem kind of meh as well. Because our creatures don't end up in the graveyard, they end up exiled. And try it like that. Let's see how it does. Alright, here we go. The first turn, Aether Vial. Second turn, cycle Timeless Dragon. Because, like, Timeless Dragon isn't something they can counter. We just need to get a beater down. And then we turn 3, Flicker Wisp, maybe. We'll also have an Aether Vial to start vialing things out. We just need to not draw lands. We have as many lands as we're going to want this game. If we draw 2 or more lands in the next 3 turns, we've lost. Are they just going to get rid of Vial? Yep. All right. Well, that's not good. Again, Prismatic Ending, another card that just made Taxes even worse. Okay, so that's 1. If our next draw is a Plains or the draw after that is a Plains, I guarantee we're going to lose this match. I'm not going to early scoop, but I have beyond a shadow of a doubt that we lose. All right. Are they just passing? All right. Plains Cycle, Timeless Dragon. We're taking lands out of our deck too. Please don't draw any more. Sword of Fire and Ice. Well then, we'll play Sword of Fire and Ice. Because next turn we just get to Eternalize Timeless Dragon. If they steal our Timeless Dragon with is Eternalize a sorcery? Yeah. If they steal our Timeless Dragon with an Archmage's Charm, then they've stolen our Timeless Dragon with an Archmage's Charm, and there's not much I can say about that. Because there's part of me that's like, hey, play around it. Like, because what's playing around it? Is playing around it the Timeless Dragon and hoping they don't have Archmage's Charm, or is playing around it playing Flicker Wisp and hope it doesn't get countered? Because, like, I feel like both are kind of, like, the same vein. There's our Lazotep Timeless Dragon. Come on, just steal it. Just steal it, opponent. Just do it. I know you have it. Yeah. I would like to say that I'm a mighty wizard, and believe it or not, I can't see what's in my opponent's hand, but I do know what they're going to do. So now what's going to happen is we're going to get beaten to death with our own Timeless Dragon. And from there, what'll happen is we'll try and Flicker Wisp out the Timeless Dragon, but I bet you it gets countered. All right, so here's that. We'll even Tech Edge their green source just to make their things slightly worse. All right, pass to the second main phase, and we'll try and Flicker Wisp. It'll get countered. Probably just regular old counterspell if I'm any judge of character and any judge of how these decks work, but not gonna resolve. Yeah, okay, counterspell. Oh, is it another Archmage Charm? Okay, cool. Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen. So what's gonna happen next? Our opponent probably does nothing. They probably just attack, and that's their entire turn. I mean, they're not as good a Magic player as me, and they don't know that I have the equivalent of 3 lands in our hands, but I know we have 3 lands in our hands, and our opponent's hand is just full of counters. So an Urza Saga would be pretty sweet right now. Archon of Amara. Well, here's our Aether Vial. Do you want to counter our Aether Vial? No, that's so weird. Oh well, here's our Archon of Amara that doesn't make it to the battlefield. Yeah. The question is, what is their counterspell going to be? Oh, okay, well, both our things are on the field. I still don't feel like we get to Archon of Amara our turn. I feel like it dies. Yeah, go ahead, swing in. We get punched in the face. And again, you'll notice when your opponents win with your deck, that's kind of what Horizons has done, is it turned your opponent's deck into a resource. And decks that were just value decks, Jund, Taxes, got punished because of it, because the cards in their deck are amazing. You would play them if it didn't mean you got to play less Modern Horizons card. Tech Edge, okay, well, that sucks. Oh, hey, look, and now the thing happens where our guy dies. Seems like they're just deciding how it dies. I bet you Solitude. This feels like Solitude. This feels like Solitude pitching something irrelevant. Yes, okay, what did they pitch? Supreme Verdict. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We knew it was going to happen. That doesn't do anything. We Tech Edge their red source. The problem is they stole one of our things, and every single card in our deck is great. It's just they're no longer great together anymore. They're great if you can get them for free, or if you can get them without having to do the thing where you actually have to like pay for your stuff. Cycling for 2. Yep, okay. Just make it worse. Make it worse and worse and worse. But man, I don't know how Urian Taxes was Urian, it must have been a million times better than I gave it credit for, because boy does it really seem like Urian was so powerful it could make any pile of 80 cards powerful. Okay, we need to draw exactly Flicker Wisp, and we need it to resolve. I'm pretty sure we're just going to draw a land, probably Urza Saga. All right, tick that up. Solitude. Well, okay. If this resolves, this can save us. I don't see it resolving. I see our opponent's hand having a million counters. But I will admit when I was wrong, I didn't just draw land and die. But, you know, the Modern Horizons 2 card, that is quite the card to find if it resolves. So if they just go straight to combat, they don't go straight to combat. Play to land. Please do not have counters in your hand, opponent. Come on. Let me do something this game. Fairy Time Traveler. Well, Solitude. I don't know why they played Teferi. That seemed unnecessary. I mean, they can bounce the Solitude now. But I just get rid of their Shark token next turn. Oh man, are we gonna mount a slow comeback on the back of literally just Solitude being way too good of a card? Go to 2. All right, opponent. Are you bouncing the Solitude? I kind of want to replace Lion Sash with Sword of Light and Shadow after this match. I think we're gonna do that. I think once we're done getting our butts handed to us by Control, we'll replace it like Sword of Light and Shadow. Once it gets on a creature, kind of like completely stops any of these like white-based control decks, whether it be the elemental decks or this kind of Azorius build, because it stops Teferi. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We get to play it on our turn, and if we draw a land, we even get to put Sword of Light or Sword of Fire and Ice on our thing. Yeah, we could put that to 3, because if we find what's his face, the new guy from Dominaria, another Solitude. Well, you know, better late than never, guys. Let's eat that while I can. All right, I need our opponent to draw a little dead here. And then I need to start whacking in with Sword of Fire and Ice. But, you know, I am describing a magical Christmas land. Because if I had to take a stab here, I bet he ticks up and I bet he verdicts. Like, I go in for the attack on Teferi and verdict happens. And then second main, I get to play a second Solitude, but I don't get to put the sword on it. What is going on here? Is this just like a really big march? Oh, exiling my thing. Sure, that's fine. Giver of Runes. Okay, I don't know what the joke is yet, but we're going to find out. I'm going to attack Teferi. Leyline's Binding. Sure. Door is open, though. So here comes Giver. Do I just play out Solitude? Or do I just put the sword on... Maybe I just put the sword on Giver and hope that's enough. Yep. They continue to tick Teferi in the upwards direction. They have lands. I suppose I should have brought in Lauren of the third path because of the Leyline's binding, but perhaps it's too corner case. It's hard for me to say. Oh, just putting Kahira into hand. I don't see a world where Giver of Runes actually gets to punch real hard. Another Giver. Okay, well, first things first. Yep. That's kind of what I expected. Man, white has so much removal, and it's not even white anymore. Now it's like the sub-white stuff. You know, it's all these cards that are white with an asterisk where you need other colors to make them good. Like Presenting in March are not white cards. Presenting in March are cards you play in decks that have other colors. All right, they just keep ticking up Tef. I smell a Solitude, but there's nothing I can do about it. We'll attack our opponent, because we just want to draw the card. But if this connects, I'll be amazed. Yes, sir. All right, they got our guy again. Gotta keep getting him over and over and over again. All right, here's Solitude. No target on that one. And we spend our last mana to put our sword on it, and we like cross our fingers really hard that we get to hit with that. I feel like they presenting the sword, or they just they can't bounce Solitude anymore because the sword. This is another reason why I really like Taxes. I do. It's a deck I played since 2016, but like there's just so many reasons not to play it right now. And the fact that I've sat here now for 36 minutes slowly losing is one of them. All right, opponent, you got 3 cards in hand. I reckon you pump up. Is it another Verdict? Another Verdict would be fun because Solly does not get to connect. Sorry for anybody out there who really thought Solly was gonna come in and kick butt and take names and all that. So let's go through this and see how Solitude dies, because it's a question of how, not really a question of when. All right, how does Solitude not connect, opponent? Show me how. This looks like Verdict. Memory Deluge. Huh, they actually ran out of answers. I am amazed. Do I connect? I mean, you can play anything at fast speeds right now. Oh my god, I'm gonna connect? Yeah, just hit our opponent. We found an Urza Saga. Well, that's cute. All right, we try to Flicker Wisp. And we're gonna pick up their Tef. Just Counterspell. Dress Down. Fascinating. So the Flicker Wisp doesn't get to flicker anything, but it does get to live. So unless they have the Verdict, then I think we're actually pretty okay. They've already got rid of 2 Verdicts, so there's only 2 more possible Verdicts. And we're gonna get 2, Colonnade's not great to see. Bounce the sword, that's fine. That means they can't play their sorceries at instant speed, though, which is nice. So unless they Wrath right now, we actually get our creatures. They're probably going to counter Sword of Fire and Ice somehow. They don't have enough to flashback Memory Deluge, though. They're doing something, though. Something. Chalice on 1. Sure. I mean, if we start drawing 1-drops, I'm going to get very salty mid-go. I'm not going to lie. It is too hot here in beautiful sunny Sydney for me to not get salty at you. Just a land. All right. So this obviously gets countered. Oh, no. Okay. Actually, let's put it on Flicker Wisp. Huh. It survived. Would you look at that? So Solitude's actually going to try and kill Teferi, and that's going to go at our opponent. It's another dress down. Okay. The thing is, I think Sword of Fire and Ice still goes off, though. Because the ability's on the... Yeah, the ability's on the sword, not the actual creature. We draw Thalia. Do we play Thalia, or do we Urza Saga? I suppose we keep Thalia in hand in case they Wrath. Also, if we win this game, we've won the match because they have 2 minutes and 28 seconds. They can still beat us in 2 minutes and 28 seconds. They have a Colonnade. But if we win this game, then we win the whole match. So what they would need to do now is Colonnade and hit us, and then have some way of not dying on the crackback. Because right now the Flicker Wisp is just lethal. Uh-oh. Oh no, it's Kahira. Okay. Kahira's not terribly threatening. Right, so we make a guy. Is it another dress down? Hollowed Moonlight. Sure. So technically it is another dress down. All right. We draw that. Oh, we drew Shadow Spear? Tragedy. Well, we have Vials. Ooh, Pithing Needle. Well, I think I know what we're doing here. Let's do this. And then Celestial Colonnade can't become a thing anymore. All right, so I have to imagine one of their last cards is a counter. Oh, Chalice, you so-and-so Chalice. Oh, you got me. Gotta admit, you got me. Here's Mathalia. Counterspell, sure. They just die, though, right? I mean, if their last 2 cards are random card Solitude, their last 2 cards are random card Solitude. No, they're just blocking, and they die of Flicker Wisp. All right, so that was game 2. They have a minute. The lower end of the third path is actually pretty great. What is not all that great? Does Skyclave Apparition have many targets? I don't think it does. Oh, and they scooped the match, which they probably should have done because they ran out of time. So hey, 1-1. That just took 45 minutes. All right, let's get to at least 4 here today, folks. Let's go to 3. All right, we lost the die roll, but our hand looks pretty good. There's no 2-drop, but turn 1 Ether Vial into hopefully find a turn 2, like a Thalia or a Stoneforge. Otherwise, turn 3, we can drop an Archon. Our opponent seems to be playing some sort of Murktide, it looks like. Spellskite. Okay, we found a turn 2. But for right now, here's my Ether Vial. So our opponent's either on like Scam or Grixis Shadow or yeah, some kind of Grixis Shadow maybe. They're not dealing themselves damage though, which is interesting. So pump up Aether Vial. Thank you. Pump up the jam. Now pump it up. Another Flicker Wisp, which will be cool later. But for right now, here's my Spellskite. Ooh, Spell Snare. All right, we got ourselves a game. Looks like we're up against some sort of Grixis control deck. I haven't seen Spell Snare in a while. The Bobble's interesting too. Another Steam Vent, this time taking damage. Please tap out. Now, remember when I said our deck loses when they steal our stuff? Archmage's Charm, you dirty dog. Well, there's another Aether Vial, but for right now, that's not what we're looking to do. All right, here comes Archon. Caw, caw. Bird goes, caw, caw. Now, Archon is another thing that just dies to Fury. And we can even get our Vial back with Flicker Wisp. They gotta pump it? They're pumping up the jam. Hall of the Storm Giants, sure. Really what we want to draw next turn is a land, because I feel like they have more Archmage's Charms. Stoneforge Mystic, isn't that fascinating? So attack our opponent, see what they do. I feel like what happens now is they tap Aether Vial, bring in Snapcaster Mage, redo Archmage's Charm. Terminating the Archon, fascinating. Does that mean Flicker Wisp gets to come into field and I get my Aether Vial back? What are they bringing back? Oh, they're just tapping it. You realize it gets exiled, so like that didn't actually do anything. All right, well, we completely undid their Archmage's Charm, which is neat. Archon of Amara super died though, which is sad. K Command takes out our field. While that's unfortunate, I do not mind that a ton because we get to do a whole bunch now. All right, so first things first, I am going to take out their land because they have shown that they have had Spell Snare in the past. Yep, you can do that, buddy. We're going to go to second main. Now, some people might be like, oh, well, why didn't you take out their black source? And it's mostly because I wanted to actually, you know, develop my field here. Oh, I forgot to put in Sword of Light and Shadow, but I suppose that's actually not a bad thing right now. So I already have Sword of Fire and Ice in my hand. So I suppose I go for broke and I go get the Cauldron complete. I don't think Stoneforge Mystic is going to live. However, I do think that we swing for the fences at this point. Oh, Expressive Iteration. Okay, so they go searching for a bolt. Not a bauble, sure. Hey, remember when I spent like all that money on old border baubles and then they got reprinted? That was fun. Don't follow me for financial advice. Sure thing, boss. Yep, there's the bolt. I mean, we knew it wasn't going to live. These were things we were aware of. Extraction Specialist. That's funny. That also seems quite good. Stoneforge Mystic. All right. Yes, I'd love to use its ability. Now do I get Lion Sash is the question. I feel like I do. I feel like if it dies again, Lion Sash will actually be a creature that does something. Plus, we already have Cauldron Complete and Sword of Fire and Ice, so we are spoiled for choice. Snapcaster Mage, bolting the Stoneforge Mystic? Yep. So many control decks today. Meow. Glad I got Lion Sash, truth be told. Found a fourth land, not good for us. What do we find? A Jono. So that actually tracks, because we'd rather have the mana right now. So what this allows us to do is what exactly? I guess we just let Snapcaster Mage kill Extraction Specialist. There's nothing we can do to stop it, because Lion Sash will only pump our guy if it has a counter on it, and by the time we actually get it on the creature, that doesn't work. So first things we do is swing with Extraction Specialist and trade. If they don't trade, that's actually super good for us. Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather just keep them empty here. And then we spend 1 and play... No, we can't play the Vial. Let's play Lion Sash. And I was wrong. We're playing Aether Vial. All right, yield through the turn. And we even have some creatures we can eat without it being a problem at all. Scalding Tarn. They now have all the mana in the world to do whatever they feel like. Oh, this is permanence. Yeah, that super kills that. You sure killed that thing dead. All right, untap. Counter on Aether Vial. Sure thing, boss. Tech Edge. Well then, the first things first, do I get my Flicker Wisp? We'll just untap one of our planes. And now we do kill their source here. Oh, did I just make their Fatal Push active? That's so sad if I made their Fatal Push active. Oh no, they let it go. Okay. Yeah, they had to get a Watery Grave, which is fine. Again, Tech Edge is doing their job, keeping them at a nice low mana total if they're some sort of control deck that I have to assume has some big old finisher. Expressive Iteration sounds fine. Lightning Bolt. All right, so there goes Flicker Wisp. Yep. Zap. File ticking up. Urza's Saga. You love to see it. All right. Now we try our sword. And we pass. We don't attack with Mishra's Factory in case they're playing Ragavans. Because we'll have an Urza Saga token next turn. Blue to Delta, sure thing, boss. Dealt themselves damage. That's interesting. Snapcaster Mage, probably for K command. Forces us to discard, kills Sword of Light and or Fire and Ice. I mean, they should really wait on it. They should wait until my Urza Saga token is active. Or they can just do it right now. Sure thing, boss. Weird that they did that now, but, you know, because they could have done that all on my turn. Like, and that could have led to killing the Urza Saga token. All right, we'll take this up to 3 in case we find another Flicker Wisp. Find a Plains. There's no reason to play that Plains. We'll just hold it in hand, make it look like we could possibly have something, and pass the turn, see what they get up to. Brian, you want to know what really keeps retention on YouTube? Is if you play Control, followed by Control, and then some Control. All right, let's see if you forgot about this guy. Huh, your thing, boss. We'll just take 2. Like, we scared him with the Construct token, but we'll just take 2. We're at 23. We could take it. All right, leave that at 3. Giver of Runes. That doesn't tickle my fancy at all. Go get... The question is it Shadow Spear or Soul Guide Lantern? I guess it'll be Shadow Spear. Fences, we be swinging for him. All right, do you have a bolt? Doesn't look like it. Either that or he's really breaking my heart and really letting me get close to this. Unholy Heat. Archmage's Charm. I hate you, Archmage's Charm. Well, it turns to a 2/2, so not that threatening. And then next turn, we get to take back our Shadow Spear anyway. I mean, if they have Baubles in their hand, then I feel silly, but... Snapcaster Mage, steal the other one? Oh man, Archmage's Charm is doing a lot of punishment today. Really should have gotten that Soul Guide Lantern. That's just on me. Yeah, no, you got me, opponent. You got it, dude. How dare I try and use my deck to beat you when clearly the correct thing to do is to only use your opponent's deck to beat your opponent, you know? Life is just a number. You know, the graveyard is your hand, your opponent's deck is your deck. We're all friends here. We should all be playing like that. Solitude. Well, we're gonna just play Giver, and we're gonna hope real hard that we draw a land next turn, because that would actually... A Solitude that gets us to stick around would actually be pretty sweet right now. They're 1 mana off of being able to animate all of the Storm Giants too, which just wrecks us. Are you kidding me? Really? They just get to have as many Archmage's Charms as they want? That's the world we live in? Oh my god. We get stomped for roughly 1 million. I need a Flicker Wisp. I need a land. Come on, deck, land. Show me land. There's no tap lands in this deck. You can't break my heart. Yay! And they're tapped out. Yay! All right. I'm just gonna get rid of my own Giver. I don't need them having any extra help. I kind of have to block as well. I can't wait for Solitude to be big enough to eat stuff because they have lethal. They have super lethal if they drew an untapped land too, by the way. That's just Scoopy time. Aggressive Iteration. Okay, well, it could still be Scoopy time. They have 3 cards to find a bolt. Island entered. Okay, so next turn we're in for a World of Hurt. But right now we're just in for Alpha Strike here where we have to kill something. So kill a Snap. And we need a Flicker Wisp so bad. Another Solitude wouldn't be bad either, but Flicker Wisp would probably be even a little bit better. We drew a Soul Guide Lantern, which doesn't do diddly. We're dead. That's fun. Alrighty-dighty. Against our opponent, who is doing all sorts of fun random stuff. Well, we want the extra graveyard hate. Sanctifier Envex, okay. Not great, it's okay. March seems cool too. Archon seems cool. Anointed Peacekeepers seem cool. What doesn't seem cool, actually? Our deck's actually pretty awesome. We just don't have enough, we don't have enough just card draw to keep up with that guy. So I guess we'll take out Timeless Dragon, because we don't need him any more things he could possibly steal. Like, what else, though? Maybe take out Batterskull, because we don't need to give them any help there in the Steal Our Stuff department. And, like, one Extraction Specialist, and bring in these 3 cards, and cross our fingers and try that. Alright. Unkeepable. We're gonna try real hard. Our opponent has black, so we don't want to mulligan too much, because they probably have hand disruption. Opponent really thinking about their mull here. I mean, I mulled, our opponent's just thinking. Is that how Taxes wins now? It's only available to win online, because you have to just hope your opponent bleeds so much time that that's how you pick up your W's? Jeez, guys. It'd be a long recording. Come on, opponent. Do you like your 7 or don't you? I would like to remind you, you won game 1. So I don't see why you would be stalling so hard. I really have to stop saying out loud that I only have so long to record if people are going to eat so much time doing literally nothing. Like, I have to assume this guy, like sideboarded, hit go, and then, like, had to use the bathroom or get a drink or something or answer the door. I don't think he would have walked away, because it's not like last game was particularly bad for him, but I'm not entirely sure why he spent literally the last 3 minutes not doing anything. Although, if he does come back, which at this point, 50-50, if he does come back, we only need to win 1 more game again, because he's under 10 now. So this is something you can only get away with online. You can't do this in person. There's no chess clock in person. But online, if you do wear your opponent's time down, that is a match win. So let's see if we get 2 we have 1 loss, 1 straight up loss against Zoo. And again, it was nice to see Zoo. No one likes losing, but I have no ill will towards that game. Then the control match we won, again, the guy didn't time manage correctly. I'm getting a little salty when it comes to all of these things stealing my tokens, which sure is interesting. I do suppose tokens have gotten quite strong, so stealing them is probably the right move. But again, it's interesting that I'll go from seeing Archmage Charm literally never to seeing it in, 2 matches back to back with varyingly different decks. And that kind of gets into my personal dislike of Modern Horizons. If you can cast Archmage's Charm, it has so much benefit, stacked on stacked on stacked on stacked benefit, that there's no reason to not run it. It's better than Cryptic Command. Just straight up Cryptic Command. When was the last time you saw anyone cast Cryptic Command? When was the last time you saw anyone put Cryptic Command in a one-on-one deck? Maybe in Commander it's still around to kind of play with stuff, but it's really not a Modern card anymore. It was never a Legacy card. It's not in Pioneer. So that's a thing, and it's really getting to that. Modern is no longer, hey, here's all the strongest cards from all the strongest standards. It's, hey, here's Modern Horizons, now build around Modern Horizons. You have to build around Modern Horizons. There's more than one way to build around Modern Horizons. I won't say there's only one deck. There's many, many decks. But you ultimately have to build around Modern Horizons. And personally, I think that takes a lot of the surprise out of Modern. A lot of the times when I see things I don't know what's going on, I get an idea pretty quickly, because it's like, okay, what are the Modern Horizon card they're using? Because either they're using Modern Horizons cards, or as you saw with us versus Control, I'm going to play my Modern Horizons cards, and I'm going to dumpster them. We found 2 Solitudes in the Control game, and that took us to victory in that game, which took us to victory in that match. Whereas here, boy, did I even say I was going to keep? I haven't given a chance to keep. Here, first turn Shadow Spear, second turn Thalia, third turn cross our fingers, Thalia's still alive, put Shadow Spear on and start beating down unless we find something cooler. But we might not even get to play the second game here. Our opponent's now at 7 minutes and 10 seconds. By the time I'm done with this sentence, they'll probably be under 7 minutes. So I think our opponent might have wandered away. I'm not entirely sure why. He won game 1. I am assuming he is a gentleman by the fact that his name is Skater Boy, for all you Avril Lavigne fans out there. But yeah, does he think our time's ticking down? Is that what's going on? Is he under the impression that my time is ticking down? Anyone get anything cool for Christmas? I didn't get any Magic stuff. I got a lot of cool stuff though. I got the Pixel Watch. That was cool. My in-laws got me a tool set, helpful to have around the house. Okay, I really don't like when this happens. I think we're only going to get to 4 today, guys. I think I'm just going to run out of time. I'll mention this in an actual community post as well, but in the near future, my videos might get a little more sporadic, just due life changes, but I'll see if I can keep this going in not so much a weekly fashion, but we'll see what's out there. Also, nobody Nobody liked the second arena video. I thought the Explorer video was going to do okay because the first one did okay. But turns out you guys are not terrible fans of Magic Arena. Who would have thought? Clearly not this guy. Our opponent is officially in the red. How long do I have to wait before? I thought it... Oh, okay. Yeah, they lost due to timeout. So that's 2-1 technically because of timeout. Jeez, okay. Round 3. All right, our opponent won the die roll. Looks like they kept... Yep, that's unfortunate because we have no lands. You know, you might think I'm saying this back to back, but looks like that's unfortunate because we have no lands. Looks like that's unfortunate because we have no lands. Oh my god, deck. Okay, cool. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And we're just going to hope we win on Urza's Saga alone. Street Wraith, sure. Blood Fountain. So it's like sacrifice? Aether. Okay, well, this is actually keeping us alive. We are super behind the 8 ball, but if we find another land, Urza's Saga might just carry us to victory. Inventor's Fair. Oh, no. Well, there goes Aether Vial. Is this Lantern? Is that my day today? Is my day going up against one fair deck, having it be a pretty decent match and not feeling that bad about losing, followed by... going up against Control Timeout, and then Lantern? Is this how we live our lives? Well, we found Timeless Dragon, so we'll make our land drop. Let's go ahead and pass. Opponent starts gaining back some life with Inventor's Fair. Ghost Quarter. Oh, no. All right, so we'll Plane Cycle Timeless here. Go get a Plains. They have to Ghost Quarter the Saga, right? They're not going to let me Saga, are they? That's what I thought. It's on upkeep too, so there's nothing I can do about it. All right, come on, deck. Stoneforge Mystic. All right, staying alive. Okay. I don't think Stoneforge is going to live. So what do I do if I expect Stoneforge to die? Solitude. Oh, you know what? I'll get Lion Sash. Because either we'll cast Lion Sash, or it can be used to pitch a Solitude and keep a Solitude in our hand. Otherwise, we'll just play it. Looks like some sort of improvise. Oh, no, they're just going to draw a card. Oh, okay. Is this just food? Like Mono Black Asmore? Okay, there's Asmore. They go get the Underworld Cookbook. That's sure. Goes back to their hand. Discard it. Goes back to their hand. Once Lion Sash comes out, though, we can break that loop. In fact, we're just going to give up on Solitude. Turns out the Lion Sash is pretty awesome. Go to Asmore. And the last time we're going to tick up the Vial. Giver of Runes. Well, we'll play Sash. And we'll just attack with Stoneforge Mystic. And when they try and overchase, we'll eat it with Lion Sash. Bobble's fine. They must have their own Urza Saga. Oh boy. Herald of Anguish. Boogity. Haven't seen that guy in a while. Anything I do about that? Well, Nom Nom Street Wraith. Sure. Untap. No on this. Solitude. The problem is I don't actually get to keep Solitude. And I don't have enough to make Timeless Dragon. So I attack and I hope they're silly enough to block. That'd be cool if they were silly enough to block. No, all right, well, we'll just start eating stuff. All right, so we deal 5. That's really the best we could hope for at this point. We really need to find a land is what we need to do. Because we're gonna lose Solitude. But if we can get Timeless Dragon on the field, that'd be pretty cool. Also, just drawing any of our equipment at this point would be pretty cool too. What? Okay. So they have Reverse Bob now. Please draw a land. Please draw a land. Archon of Amera. Well, at least that actually gets to get cast. So, swinging with Lion Sash. No blocks. We'll start eating stuff. All right. Crunch you for 7. Do they gain life? Oh, they do get to gain life. Okay. That's unfortunate. Blast Zone. Okay, so it was just a land, though. A land that can really ruin my day, but a land nonetheless. Comes swinging in. Well, luckily for me. Oh, I can't Vial. I'm so silly. Oh no. Pithing Needle. Well, guys, I done bungled that. Oh no. Whoops. Yeah, if you want to make a food token, fine, because pretty much I need to kill you this turn. Yeah, no, that's fine. I do not care. All right. The next turn, all of our stuff dies. We need a land so bad. Flicker Wisp. Is there anything we can do with that? I mean, I guess we could pick up Blast Zone and just make it worse. Because we pick it up, they get it back. No, they get a moment to get it back, so we'll actually take out a food token. Sure, you can gain 3 life. That is your prerogative. All right, just swing with our things, because all of our opponent's stuff flies anyway. They get to kill Flicker Wisp and just deal us more or less lethal, I think is the moral of the story. We have to start eating food, though, because Lion Sash got pretty swole, actually. Another Blast Zone was revealed. Cool. They didn't pump up their Blast Zone to take out Lion Sash. That's interesting. Sure. It can't be in desperation mode. They have me dead to rights. Oh, yeah, there's that Ursa Saga we knew was going to happen. If you guys hear dogs barking outside, it's because I live next to Bogans, who decide on like a 30 whatever degree day, we should just have the dogs outside and just have them bark forever and ever and ever. All right, just block Mr. Demon. They're just eating food now? Oh, killing the Stoneforge Mystic. Sure. Yeah, no, we had no cards to discard. Please draw land. Please draw land. Please draw land. Come on, deck. Come on. Crucible. Yeah, that does not matter. Gaining life. Sure thing, buddy. We need to draw... Like a land would be pretty cool. Cauldron Complete. How did they... Oh, did they bobble us? Okay. So we are just dead skis. Oh, well. Lorand is awesome. March is cool. What else? Our commandos are awesome. What's bad? They're actually doing stuff with their graveyard. So I guess, Sword of Fire and Ice, that doesn't actually give any protection. I guess we can get rid of one Aether Vial, especially if they're gonna turn them off. Let's get rid of 2 Aether Vials if they're gonna turn them off. And then what? I'm just gonna only get 1 Cathar then and try this. I don't know. Maybe it's too hot for me. Alrighty. Sure. Please play a, Urza Saga opponent. I have a March in hand. All right, here's my giver. Here's my passing. Start with an Underworld Cookbook pretty quick. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play Plains. And we're going to march the Underworld Cookbook for this. All right, we got rid of it. And we'll poke them for 1. Hopefully they didn't have more than 1 of those. All right, nothing yet. Looks like they really needed that to happen. So now we Archon, and we just pass. Ghost Quarter comes into play tapped. Haha. Take that, opponent. Take that. Mishra's Factory. All right, well, we'll run that out, but we're just going to actually cast Thalia here. And we start the bleeding. No Fun Bird. Deploy. Inventor's Fair comes into play tapped. You love to see it. Another Giver. Well, let's go to attacks. Let's Tech Edge their Inventor's Fair. Just keep them off lands, you know. Go down, we Giver. And our setup's looking pretty sweet here. Giver's actually a really strong card if you can get it to live. Blast Zone comes into play tapped. Oh man, Archon, you are just... nope, they scoop. All right, we locked him pretty quick there. That worked pretty well. Anything else we want to do? I don't think so. I think that's about as good as we could have asked it to be, and we just want to do that more. All right, this seems fine. Keep. Underworld. Oh, Shadow Spear, okay. Extraction Specialist, that might come into play later. I mean, really, we're just going to slam Stoneforge Mystic, go get Cauldron Complete, because we already have Batterskull in hand, and kind of hope. Ooh, Ursa Saga. Stoneforge, go get me Cauldra, and, oh, win the match. Got it. Oh, thank God that was a quick one. Okay, we can sneak one more in, guys. We can sneak one more in. All right, we won the die roll on the last one today, and this is a bit of a risk here, with all these Solitudes, or all these Flicker Wisps, a Solitude and a Stoneforge. But if our Stoneforge sticks, I even say we're just going to go straight for Cauldron Complete and try and just blitz whoever this guy is. All right, here's my Plains, and I pass. Got a Forest, sure. You going to play a Hardened Scales opponent? A Gilded Goose. What year is it? Opponent opens with Gilded Goose. All right, well, I see your Gilded Goose, and I raise Stoneforge Mystic. Yes, I would love to go get Cauldron Complete. All right. Let's see if it lives. If it doesn't live, we are super slow, but hopefully we live. That's a new token. That's not from Eldraine. You're from Eldraine. That's from something else. All right, what else you got, opponent? What's your 3-drop? Stomping. Oh, we're finally actually playing against Gruul, huh? So, Spellbreaker? You got a big old Spellbreaker for me, opponent? Opponent scoops? Question mark? I think it's just Gruul. So, March. What else? Don't even know what's good. Maybe just Anointed Peacekeepers? Probably don't need our Graveyard here right now. Not against Gruul. Let's cut a Vial. Try these guys. All right, try that. Not quite as good as last hand. Doesn't actually do anything. Mulligan. This is better. Keep, and I am sorry, Timeless Dragon. I'm so sorry. Opponent kept the full 7, gets a black mana out, so it looks like it's just Jun's Sacrifice is what we're up against here. Gildy Goose. Does Jun's Sacrifice use their graveyard? I guess they do with Cat. Taking out the graveyard hate might have been silly, but I'm a silly boy. Right, there's our Giver. Next turn we Stoneforge. Third turn we slam Cauldron Complete and hope that's fast enough. You know, this is really kind of a sad moment for me, second Gilded Goose, because it's showing how Leonin Arbiter has been just pushed out of the meta. But it is what it is, I suppose. Skyclave Apparition. Well, that's for later. For right now, we have a Stoneforge Mystic that's actually relatively protected because of Giver of Ruins. All right, fences time, Cauldra. And if they kill it, we have an Extraction Specialist, so we got things. We got things and stuff. Fun fact, I can give it from protection from Colorless because it's not a mom, and this is not Legacy. So, not sure why you're playing Reality Hemorrhage in Modern Opponent, but you sure tried. You sure tried, and that's what's important. Thumbs up for trying. Maybe milk that one too. Oh, yeah, we win the match. Yay! I need this to be quick. All right, let's go to the wrap-up. So, 4-1. Unfortunately, I lost the first game, which means I lost, like, 90% of the people in the first match. When you lose the first match in a YouTube video, people just, they tune out, they go somewhere else, you lose them. It is what it is. You try not to be salty about it. But, okay. I realize I complained a lot about taxes in this video, but it comes from a place of love. I own taxes in paper. In fact, that will be the thing I show off my my taxes deck when we get to the Black Void. I'll show off my essentially super blinged out taxes deck. And I love taxes. I really, really do. And I want taxes to be better. Do I think it's good enough to win in like super competitive environments? No. Do I think this is the best version of the mono white deck? No. I actually think that artifact one with the combat threshers is better than this. Really, the only difference between that deck and this deck is running Extraction Specialist and Thalia. But I think if you lean more into the artifact thing, it's better. In fact, where's mono white affinity? Yeah, here's white affinity, which you'll notice is very, very, very similar. But I just think this is better. I think this deck with Esper Sentinel and Portable Hole is just better. So if you want to play like the mono white deck, I would play this, not this. Although again, like I love Thalias. I have blinged out Thalias that I'll show off in a second. I love this deck. You can still play it. If you are a Taxes player and you want to play Taxes in Modern, you can play it. You can win a Friday Night Magic. You could win against your mates. Don't expect to go to any high-level event and even like top 8 with Taxes. It just gets run over by people who know what they're doing. In paper events, you're not going to have the chess clock to save you. You'll even notice some of the matches I won, I didn't have positive clock. So while I am good at Taxes, I'm no god at it. I was a little bit better at playing Taxes than that one guy was at playing, you know, Control. And I don't know what to say about the guy who won one game and then ran away, so he technically won the match. But again, it's something you can do. If you have a love for this deck, you can still play it. And please do. Please show me how to make Taxes good again. If you have a Taxes list, please put it in the comments below. Please email me at HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com and show me. Because, yeah, it's getting to that point. But, as I said, and those of you who have been on this channel long enough, you know that at the end of every video, we go into the Black Void. And actually, we are trying something new in the Black Void. I changed my OBS settings, so hopefully it won't be a pixelated nightmare. But let me go get my actual Taxes deck here, and we will show that off. And again, like, this deck is blinged out. So we kind of go up here, get in focus. There we are. You can see, like, all my planes are all bordered foils. I'm trying to get the Skyclaves that are this. I have one of the Skyclaves that's super... whatever it is, the player promo, the Batter Skulls a promo, Esper Sentinels, I have the Leonin Arbiters that are super cool looking, I have all the Secret Lair Thalias. Is there anything else that's particularly cool in here? I have Old Border foil givers, I have all that stuff, you know, in here that I just think is cool. But yeah, that's my Taxes deck, guys. Thank you for coming along, for joining me on this wonderful ride. I hope you and I can make Taxes better soon. Please email me at HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com with lists. It doesn't have to be Death and Taxes. It can be literally anything. And yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a video next week. I don't know what my life's going to look like because things are going to get a little complicated and a little hairy for me. But don't worry, everything's fine. It's all self-inflicted. Everything that's making my life a little weird right now. But yeah, hope to see you guys soon. Hope to see you guys down in the comments. Thank you all for watching till the very end, and later.